Luck might be the most unique quarterback in NFL history, and his journey to and through the NFL may be one we never witness again. Today, I'm going to make you wish this quarterback was still slinging his balls across NFL fields every Sunday, which he could certainly be doing considering Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, and Joe Flacco are all older than Luck.
You just told me this is the first time you've walked back into Lucas Oil Stadium since your retirement.
This will be the topic of discussion tonight, tomorrow, and for a long time after that.
For me to move forward in my life the way I want to, it doesn't involve football.
I'm with you, bro. You retired. I'm with you. I'm with you on your decision. But you retired 1 year too early.
Yes.
Obviously, Peyton and Tom and Ben, Carson. If I was going to build all of them into one
guy, yeah,
it'd be Andrew Luck.
He was always trying to appease people. Oh, you're the general manager. You know better than me. Coach or offense coordinator. Oh, you're the coach or offense coordinator. You know better than me. I wasn't tight enough with him to ever just be like, hey, they don't.
I'm Brandon Perna. This is That's Good Sports. Today, we're going balls deep into the rise and surprise end of Andrew Luck's insane and beautiful and short football career. Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports, linked below, and their full-fledged face and neck shaver, the Chairman Pro package. It's the perfect gift to get for your dad, brother-in-law, brother, anyone who shaves their face, great-grandma. Maybe. The Chairman Pro features a 360-degree contouring head with two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Blade heads. That's a great name for a metal band, by the way. The Blade Heads. The package also includes the Power Shave Gel to get the ultimate wet shave because it's waterproof. Plus, you get Manscaped's Face Shave Soother. Use it after shaving to hydrate your skin and soothe any post-shave irritation. Shaving your neck can be a real pain in the neck. Oh, fuck. Ugh! Write better, Perna! Write better! You're not worthy of the chairman! Yes, you are. Yes, I am. So, Manscaped designed a shaver to get you a super close shave, and a stubble trimmer for when you want to keep that rugged look. Both blade options are designed to reduce razor burn and irritation. Your neck and face are sensitive, so you need to adapt to their contours, shapes, and flaps. The blades pivot and flex to adjust to your specific face and neck, so the perfect gift is the Chairman Pro package. It is the ultimate tool for the job with its advanced features and Manscaped's trusted quality. You're gonna love the way you look and feel, so just use my link below, manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off your order plus free shipping.
Were you a football player or a guy who was really good at playing football?
You know, that's a great question.
When Andrew Luck was just a toddler, still with what I assume was a full Civil War beard, Jack Elway, father of John Elway, took a long look at the young boy. Elway told former NFL quarterback Oliver Luck, "Your little boy has really nice calves. He might be a player someday." And after a long investigation, concluded that was a harmless comment, Jack Elway was right. And oh boy, he was so right. At Stratford High School in Texas, those calves propelled Andrew Luck to some incredible numbers. He threw for over 7,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, rushing for another 2,000. He was the number 4 pro-style quarterback recruit in the nation, and oh, by the way, he was his high school's co-valedictorian. That's right, he had brains with that beard. He was an anomaly, so physically gifted, so mechanically sound. Yet he had other interests and pursuits beyond football. He wasn't yearning for the spotlight, maybe the opposite, in fact. So it made sense that he turned down offers from schools like Oklahoma State, Purdue, or Virginia to head west to Palo Alto, where he had been recruited by Stanford head coach Jim Harbaugh. Believe it or not, Harbaugh had also actually recruited RG3 to come to Stanford, even after Luck had signed. I can't imagine what that would have looked like. Oh wait, yes I can. Maybe like this.
Full-time daddy duty. And it's been a complete joy.
Luck redshirted at Stanford in 2008. 2009 was a good start for the young QB aside from needing surgery on his finger, but it was 2010 when Luck established himself as the best player in the Pac-10, a leader for the 4th-ranked team in the nation, and the greatest quarterback prospect since fellow Stanford alum Johnny Elway. He was complete, he was flawless, a finely tuned passer who also played with the brute strength and instincts of a linebacker. He already played in a pro-style offense, he read the field like a seasoned vet, and there was only one problem. He was going back to school for another year. Now, it could have been the Panthers, who had successfully sucked for Luck, and that would have left Cam Newton up for grabs in Denver. What a strange sliding doors moment that was, and I'm glad it did not happen. Luck wanted to stay his senior year at Stanford, get his degree in architecture, and just be a student for a little bit longer. And not for the reason that most guys want to be in college for another year. Glug, 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 glug. Glug, 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 glug. As dominant as he was on the football field, he had other passions, other interests in life, and he had an eye on the long game.
To be with my buddies, my teammates, who I really enjoy being around, and play college football for Stanford again was something that I thought would be fun, and it was.
Now, for some prospects, not declaring when you're a projected first-round pick in the NFL, that would have been financially unthinkable. Keep in mind, NIL money was over a decade away still. Luck had to make money the old-fashioned way, under the table from the boosters, which of course he would never accept. For a guy who was slated to go number 1, it would have been a massive risk. But not when you're as complete of a prospect as Andrew Luck. Even though Robert Griffin III edged him out for the Heisman Trophy, there was no question Luck would still go number 1 overall. I think it's important for you to understand that Andrew Luck was really the last true consensus number 1 overall pick where the debate wasn't even close. You could say Trevor Lawrence in 2021, he was the consensus number 1 pick, but not to the same plane as Andrew Luck in terms of a quarterback who everyone knew was NFL ready. And that's not a hindsight observation. Andrew Luck aroused football scouts, coaches, and GMs the way lifted shoes aroused Bryce Young, Russell Wilson, and Kyler Murray. Kyler, another consensus number 1 pick, but not a slam dunk franchise savior like Andrew Luck.
He's the choice route, so up at him. You want to beat him inside. That's the goal of the game. Whatever backer's out here. So then cross his face, beat him inside. Still has the chance to break out. Read the Mike. Mike pushes strong. You can work off there. Mike pushes weak. Stick concept. You can cut it down to 3.
So if we got a weak side blitz, what would halfback do?
Weak side blitz. Break it off into flat from the start.
Beautiful thing, isn't it?
We went to beat Andrew Luck and some of these quarterbacks. You give them like 3 pages of plays, and they got to memorize the play and the formation. Red right, 22 Hank. Blue right, 2 jet flanker drive. I'm going to come back in a little bit, and I'm going to quiz you on these. Okay, I ask him, how are we running 22 Hank? Luck looks over at me and he goes, please, don't question my intelligence. He 18 for 18 like that. I go to some other guys, they're like 1 for 18 or 0 for 18.
Lawrence and Kyler became the consensus number 1 guys because there just wasn't another quarterback in the draft that could compete for that spot. If those guys were in the same draft with Andrew Luck, they would have had no chance at going number 1 overall. And I think Trevor Lawrence is a good comp here. We've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks struggle once they get to the NFL. They go to bad teams or bad situations or both, like Lawrence, and we say the situation ruined them or stunted them. Luck is one of the very rare transcendent talents. He went to a bad Colts team and fixed it. He was a full-fledged beautiful butterfly as a rookie. Transcendent is a dangerous word to use when referencing any athlete, but it's an easy one for me to associate with Andrew Luck. The question for Andrew Luck was, where was he going once he got to the NFL? The Indianapolis Colts were not a long-suffering franchise in 2011, quite the opposite in fact. But Peyton Manning had been sidelined for the year as he underwent multiple neck surgeries, and the quarterback trio of Curtis Painter, Dan Orlovsky, and Kerry Collins had guided them to just 2 wins. They really did luck into luck. As good as they had been under Peyton Manning, they had no idea what to do without him. Indy went from a 10-win playoff team to a 2-win train wreck. The greatest argument for Peyton Manning in the GOAT conversation is what happened to his team versus what happened to Tom Brady's team when they each missed a season. When Brady went down, the Patriots won 11 games with Matt fucking Castle. The 2011 Colts were a team that got destroyed 62-7 by the New Orleans Saints for all of the world to see on Sunday Night Football. The cupboard was bare. Manning was the load-bearing piece in Indy, and without him, it all came crashing to the ground. The only saving grace was that they were sucking for something, and they were sucking hard for luck. When it became clear that they were in position to draft the greatest prospect of the last 30 years, they cut Peyton Manning loose. Peyton Manning, and decided to start over. An incredibly bold move at the time, by the way. Peyton Manning signed with the Denver Broncos, of course. Luck was the most obvious first overall pick, maybe of all time, and a new era started on both ends. And while Denver had a lot of pieces, the Colts were a 2-win roster that had now added the best young QB in the league. How valuable was Andrew Luck as a rookie? Well, it turns out he was worth 9 additional wins.
Obviously, because of the NFL rules and graduation day. I mean, the guy couldn't come to OTAs and practice, and I think that rule is like ridiculous. And he finally shows up. We get out to practice, and we're, like you said, we're in a walkthrough, and BA calls a play, and he goes to the line of scrimmage. He's getting everything set up, and all of a sudden he rips out this check, alert, and changes the whole play, changes the protection. We go from a run to pass to run, and everybody's like, what the fuck did he just say? And what is that? We had to blow the whistle, get him back in the huddle, because nobody knew what he was checking to.
That porous Colts offensive line surrendered 41 sacks, and Luck just absorbed them. Probably complimented the guys who sacked him.
Oh, nice hit, man.
And returned to throw laser beam after laser beam after laser beam. He was spectacular. He was prolific, and he was incredibly clutch. Luck led a league-leading 7 game-winning drives, including a 2-point win at Detroit, where Luck threw a game winner to Donnie Avery as time expired. The Colts were not a good team. Hell, they were outscored by 30 points, but Luck's fourth quarter play was the difference. Out of their 11 wins, 9 came with a 1-score margin. So again, I asked the question, how good was Andrew Luck as a rookie? 9 additional wins, but let's see what Bruce Arians has to say.
How would you build the ultimate, Frankenstein Bruce Arians quarterback?
Obviously, Peyton and Tom and Ben, Carson, Andrew, Timmy Couch, Kelly Holcomb, the guys that I've had. If I was going to build all of them into one
guy, yeah,
it'd be Andrew Luck, because he had everything that they all had. He had a photographic memory. His athletic stuff was off the charts, same as Cam Newton's. His recall was like Ben and Tom. His preparation was like Ben and Tom. Ben, Tom, and Peyton.
Bruce Arians worked with Andrew Luck just 1 season in Indy, and it was Luck's rookie year, okay? That's a Super Bowl winning coach who worked with Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger. And he chose to straight up just have Andrew Luck over any combination of the greatest quarterbacks you could ever build. Essentially, Bruce Arians is calling Andrew Luck Superman.
His athletic stuff was off the charts, same as Cam Newton's.
And I think Arians saying this about Luck is one of the most badass endorsements you can get as a former NFL QB.
He took maybe the worst roster I've ever seen and won 11 games. Because
Luck was so good, instantly, the Colts were a wild card team. And they probably weren't ready to be there, and against the Ravens, it really showed. Also, a reminder, football is indeed a team sport, especially when you get to the playoffs. Just like when RG3 beat him out for the Heisman, the same happened for Rookie of the Year. But Andrew Luck was a Pro Bowler, and more importantly, he was a savior. Cut to a year later, the Colts were down 38-10 against the Kansas City Chiefs in the third quarter of the 2013 wildcard game. The Colts kept chipping into the lead, and one of Luck's greatest plays drew the margin to just 3 points. There they were on display, the linebacker instincts at quarterback.
Are you kidding me? Talk about luck!
Luck threw one more deep ball that split 2 safeties, and the Colts had taken the lead. one they would not surrender. It was the second largest comeback in NFL playoff history, and it was orchestrated and willed into existence by the second-year quarterback. The greatest prospect in 3 decades was becoming one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league before our very eyes. It was beautiful. The Colts made it one round further in the playoffs in each of Luck's 3 seasons. Unfortunately, in their last 2 trips, they ran into the buzzsaw that was the New England Patriots. In his first 3 matchups against Tom Brady, Luck's Colts lost by scores of 59-24, 43-22, 42-20, and finally 45-7 in the 2014 AFC Championship game, still the closest Luck ever got to the Super Bowl. Just like Peyton Manning had lost twice to Brady in the playoffs to begin their rivalry, so did Luck. Then, the sharp decline. After 3 straight playoff seasons, the Colts failed to qualify from 2015 to 2017. It wasn't that Luck had gotten any worse, but his health had. His 2015 season was cut short when he tore his abdomen and lacerated his kidney in a costly game against the Broncos. A year later, he was concussed, and a lingering shoulder injury that held him back had to be addressed with surgery, wiping out his entire 2017 season. Once the second coming of the body of John Elway and the mind of Peyton Manning, Luck had been beaten down into submission. The conversation shifted away from his ceiling as a quarterback to whether he could return and play at the same level. We started to see him less as a phenom and more of this idiosyncratic character.
So institutions are the strength of democracy.
The Andrew Luck Civil War general meme went viral. He was genuinely sorry for a slip of the tongue in front of reporters.
Oh, look at the highlights. He's the guy that just makes plays. Oh, sorry. Shoot, makes plays and. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
And his spare time was spent reading and gifting books to his teammates. Just as much as he was so unique on the field, he was an anomaly off of it too. In a rare profile with Bob Kravitz of the Indianapolis Star, Luck outed himself as something of a nerd stuck in a Warriors game. He geeked out on historical fiction, he had an affinity for Japanese architecture, and his favorite artist was Bruce Springsteen. Asked about his neglect for social media, Luck said, "I wouldn't call myself a Luddite. Going to school at Stanford, I have a deep appreciation for technology, but I just chose to have a regular phone." He paid just $10 for that regular flip phone. If he was still playing today, he would still honestly just have a flip phone, and we would be worshiping him for it. A lot of athletes have no idea what to do when their time on the field is done. For Luck, it felt like the end of his career would be the opening of so many other doors. Meanwhile, he was still a long way from getting back to the player he once was.
Will he be fully recovered from the quadruple amputation surgery he had last October?
After his shoulder surgery, he couldn't roll the ball 20 yards down the field, let alone fucking throw it. That was according to his throwing coach, Tom House. But after months of grueling rehab and recovery, he inched back to greatness, and he was ready for the 2018 season. And what a season it was. Let me rephrase that. What a 10 games it was. The Colts started that year with a record of just 1-5. They were dead in the water. Then something clicked. They won 9 of their next 10 and eked out a wildcard spot in the AFC. Luck had bounced back to throw for 4,500 yards and 39 touchdowns. Just like Peyton Manning, Luck was named Comeback Player of the Year after a significant injury.
I'm used to coming in second at most award ceremonies, so to receive something is nice.
The offensive line had suddenly taken shape in front of him after the drafting of Quentin Nelson, and he was sacked just 18 times throughout the season. A big part of that was the Colts firing GM Ryan Grigson following the 2016 season and bringing in Chris Ballard, who quickly realized the most important thing he could do was, protect your once-in-a-lifetime quarterback when he's in the pocket. In round 1, though, of the playoffs, the Colts handled the AFC South champion Texans by a score of 21-7. The Colts were on the right path. They had finally surrounded their star QB with equal talent on both sides of the ball. They had a promising offensive coach in Frank Reich, courtesy the abrupt pulling out to Josh McDaniels, and they had tons of cap space on the horizon. It was a disappointment when they lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs a week later. But there was no reason to hang their heads. They had turned their season around, righted the ship, or maybe the battalion for Captain Luck to lead, and lost on the road to an ascending juggernaut. There was so much hope for the future. And then it all went away. Josh McDaniels foreshadowed this when you think about it. A head coach bailing on a job he already accepted is a difficult feat to top. But Andrew Luck certainly did that prior to the beginning of the 2019 football season.
I've been stuck in this process. I haven't been able to live the life I want to live. And the only way forward for me is to remove myself from football in this cycle that I've been in.
It hurt, Luck admitted in his press conference. Luck later told a locker room full of high schoolers that he regretted the timing of his retirement, feeling he had let down the people around him.
That was our year. I'm telling you right now.
That team was stacked.
When I talk to him, I always tell him, I say, bro, I'm with you, bro. You retired, I'm with you. I'm with you on your decision. But you retired 1 year too early.
Yes.
He had a line and everything.
Yeah, best O-line in football.
That was our year, bro.
Luck had left the NFL, playing the best football of his career. But the grind and the physical toll of bouncing back from injuries played a major part in his decision. What wasn't reported at the time, however, was that the dedication necessary to becoming and remaining an elite NFL quarterback was causing a rift in his marriage, and in a lot of ways he chose his wife over his career. Somehow the blowout losses to Tom Brady and the Patriots suddenly make a lot more sense now. But with a child on the way, Andrew Luck knew he had responsibility to his new family as much as he did to the franchise that had drafted him. John Elway played 16 years in the NFL, Peyton Manning 18. Luck was there for just 7, one of which had been wiped out due to injury. Colts fans really only got to enjoy 4, maybe 5 seasons of prime, healthy Andrew Luck, far fewer than what they had anticipated. Still, in that truncated career, he had amassed a record of 53 wins to 33 losses, thrown 171 touchdowns, made 4 Pro Bowls, and won 3 playoff games. For most NFL QBs, that's a dream career. For the greatest quarterback prospect of his generation, it felt like just scratching the surface. There are so many rarities in Andrew Luck's career, and one we may never see again is a first overall draft pick who plays quarterback getting replaced by a first overall draft pick who plays quarterback, and for the first quarterback to still be good and go on to win a Super Bowl. Andrew Luck replacing Peyton Manning is one of the most rare circumstances you'll ever see in any sport.
When I retired from the NFL, and I think I've noticed in talking to other folks who have retired, and I think no matter whatever the circumstances, it's difficult. Whether it's after college, after a short career, after a long career, it's a difficult and challenging process. And there was a grieving period, because a part of my identity died. And that part of me was a football player, and that was a huge, huge part of me. Nothing late? You didn't think it was late? That was a great hit he had on me, and I was just trying to get a call out of you.
Andrew Luck will never enter the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2022, and at the same time, he was actually a college student. After living in Indianapolis in the 3 years following his retirement, Luck returned to Stanford for graduate school to pursue a master's degree in education. He wanted to coach and teach high school history, and while he was completing his courses, he volunteered as an assistant junior varsity coach at Palo Alto High School. And he's still that same Luddite that spent $10 for a flip phone. He struggles figuring out how to register for classes online. He uses the same Stanford ID from when he was 18, and he picks up his daughter from school on a bike. And now Andrew Luck has accepted a role as the first ever general manager for football at Stanford. Knowing what we know about Luck, I can't think of a more qualified person to spearhead this new position, as many colleges are now creating to navigate the NIL era. His master's degree in education plus his football experience and intelligence makes me believe Stanford has a great future on the field. This is, of course, assuming Luck learns to communicate with potential students and players via anything but a flip phone. He still spent time at the Colts facility, but he turned down texts from Frank Reich imploring him to reconsider retirement and return to the Colts. Ultimately, he never wavered from his decision to leave. It wasn't like Barry Sanders or Michael Jordan walking away from their respective sports in their primes. Luck had no beef with the organization, and he didn't want to try and play any other sports. He was, and maybe this was his curse, as an athlete, too well-rounded for professional sports. He had too many other desires and options in life, too many interests beyond football, and a nagging drive to make the most out of his life in as many ways as possible. Maybe that's the curse of having big calves. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe here, like the video, share it, spread the love, Indy fans. And don't forget, we do have your shirts, benchwarmershop.com. And if you want to get my coffee there, the cheapest way to get my coffee is through the subscription service.
Ready, hot.